Okay guys, welcome back. Nice blank canvas here in my basement. Got an open space on the wall. We don't use it for anything, so I'm going to build a lumber rack. I want to get all my extra lumber that I have in the garage up off the cement because I have it laying on the floor. It's not only getting in my way, I can't find anything that I need for extra projects and stuff like that, and I wound up having to go out and buy more, and I just keep accumulating piles and piles of lumber. And to save time and money, I want to be able to sort through everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a 2x4 going across the bottom. That'll be like my ledger, and that'll be my level line. And then we'll run some 2x4 straight up along with the studs. They should be every 16 inches, but just to make sure, we got a stud finder here. I'm going to use my laser level, and you can see that's going to give me a nice level horizontal line, a plumb line vertical straight up. That's going to save me some time. I won't have to sit here with a hand level and draw with a pencil mark. But what we will do though is after I get that ledger board set to that line, I will throw a hand level on there just to double check this, because I like to double check everything, make sure everything's perfect. So I'm going to say I'm going to come up about 4 feet. So there's my 48-inch mark. Standard. 48 inches up off the floor. Looks like a good height, because what I want to do is make this 48 inches up. So we're going to have my top line up there. So we're going to have 2x4s are going to be 48 inches from this line, which is 48 inches off the floor. So this way I can go and make the individual pieces, the posts that come out that actually hold the lumber, I'll make them 12 inches apart. This way I'll have plenty of room to stack it. First thing we want to look at here, now we know the studs usually, this house is relatively new, so the code is about 16 inches for a stud. So if the framers did the job right and they made them 16 inches on center, then I shouldn't have a problem. So let's put a mark right there. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is sight down the board, because I want to use the straightest board that I can find for the ledger on the bottom. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, I got my ledger 2x4. I'm going to just put it up, just eyeball, just about where I made the mark on the level line at 48 inches. This isn't crucial right here, I'm making a level. We're just marking off where we have the marks for the studs, because that's where we're going to have to drill the hole to get this ledger board into the wall. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mark here, and I'm going to transfer it down, because that's going to be where the stud is. I'll know where to drill the hole, because we made the arrows using the stud finder. Stud, just eyeball it. You really don't have to measure it. As long as you get close, be good enough. Obviously, that's why we made our marks here. Okay, what I want to do now also, I'm going to run these screws a little bit into the wood so that when you do put it up there and it's level, all we got to do is screw it in the rest of the way right into the studs. So I'm just going to run these in by hand. Then we'll bring it in there, we'll turn on the laser level and get it going. Okay, so we're going to turn our level line back, let that level itself off. Now you can see that by hand, I put the screws in, and we're going to come right under here, and we're going to put it right up to the edge. We made our marks of where we're going to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to get one screw in as a pivot point, then we can level off the rest. This is where an impact driver really comes in handy. Be perfect right there. We're dead center with the bubble right in the middle of where it's got to be between the two lines. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew up the rest of this thing, get it screwed into the beams, and we're totally done. Now we can move on to the next step. Okay guys, I'm going to mark this out. I decided to go 48 inches on each post. And the reason I'm going to do 48 inches is so that I can make each section to hold all the lumber 12 inches. So I'll have plenty of room. Okay, now I'm going to mark out 12 inches and then I'm going to drill a hole. And what that's going to do is, I'm not going to drill a hole on the 12-inch mark. I'm going to drill it below and above the 12-inch mark. I'm going to put 4 lag screws in here that are going to reach all the way through the 2x4 into the beam. That's going to secure it. And the reason I'm not going to drill on the 12-inch mark and make the holes there is because that's where the 2x4 posts that are going to come out 18 inches are going to sit. That's what's going to hold the lumber. So, the same marks on all of them. This way, I don't have to keep measuring, and I'll just make some drill marks. Or if you want to call them tick marks, call them tick marks. Put them all together, get them just about flush. As long as you're close, doesn't matter. We're not going for real precision here. We just got to be consistent that we're not on the 12-inch mark. Definitely make sure that you pre-drill, otherwise you're going to split the wood. Alright, now that we got our posts, we're going to put those, center them right where we screwed the beam in to the stud behind the wall. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to first hit this one in as a pivot. This way I'll be able to move it. I'm also going to put my level against it just to double check. Okay, now that we got this part of the lumber rack up, what we need to do, get some 2x4s in, mark off that 12-inch mark, and have these posts coming out. This way we can have 1, 2, 3 spots for all our lumber laid across. Then we'll be done, and this project will be complete. I'm gonna mark everything out 12 inches. I think 12 inches is gonna be more than enough of footing to stick out to hold all the lumber. Any more than that is just gonna be in the way. So now that I have 12-inch pieces, we're going to have 3 on each of the 4 studs going up and down. What I'm going to do is make pocket screws. I'll attach it with the pocket screws, and then underneath we're going to make sort of a cleat or a brace. We're going to cut those on the miter saw at the correct angle that they need to be. Okay, so now that we cut all the posts and we marked 12 inches, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the first one in, and I'm screwing in with some pocket screws, and I'm going to take the level, go across, and we're going to do the same for each one of the posts that we have. So you get a little helper to hand you some pocket screws here. And now this will also allow me to, if I want to add some legs later on, some extra posts, I can. We're also going to make some cleats underneath or some braces. Alright, so I got the level running across. Get yourself a helper here. Some screws in there. Now I'm going to go slow as I do it, and I'm going to keep checking to make sure that I'm level as I screw it into the post. Now the system's looking pretty good and everything is perfectly level, but I would never trust just pocket screws to hold a lot of lumber because there's a possibility, even though they can hold a lot of weight, they might break off. So we're gonna right now measure the angle here with an angle finder, and I'm gonna cut the exact angles, and I'm gonna make a brace under each one of these, and then we'll just screw that in with maybe some 1 1/4 inch. So here we got our braces. I've already installed one, just to show you that's a perfect fit, 90-degree angle. We got 45 and 45 on the cuts. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna take 2 of these screws from my helper right here. He's gonna give me one at a time. These are SPAC screws, they're construction, they have a star head on them. They're made for wood and other materials, you know, they're like kind of general purpose, but they don't split the wood. They have self-tapping abilities. So I'm gonna use them to drill right into the 2x4s. Okay guys, so there it is. Nice do-it-yourself lumber rack. You can do it too. Only takes about an hour to do. It's gonna take about 2-3 hours to load up all the wood and get it all stacked up nice and neat the way I want. Then the cleanup, that's the worst part. All right guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.